First in high definition from the station on your side, this is WAVY News 10.
We begin with breaking news out of Virginia Beach. This is a live picture from Chopper 10 of a head-on collision between a tractor trailer and an SUV on the Pungo Ferry Bridge. Now, police have been out there, so they're working to clear that accident. This happened at about 3:30 this afternoon. Police say Nightingale flew one victim to Centera Norfolk General Hospital, but again, this is in the Pungo section of Virginia Beach. A tractor trailer and an SUV crash on the Pungo Ferry Bridge.
With the departure of Norfolk's school superintendent, the man filling that position for now has a lot on his plate.
Michael Spencer sat down with 10 on your side's Melanie Woodrow today. Melanie, what is his top priority?
Nicole, it's definitely education. Michael Spencer will act as an advisor to the school board as it picks a new superintendent, but finding Dr. Bentley's replacement is not his main focus.
Moving forward, our job's very clear. We've got 31,000 children in classrooms every day that depend on us to give them a good day of teaching and learning.
Interim Superintendent Michael Spencer says that is Norfolk Public Schools' mission. With leadership in transition, Spencer said an action plan is in place to bolster education.
We have teams already developed on things like on-time graduation, looking, as you suggest, at the standardized test scores, looking at climate issues and safety issues. On a day-to-day basis, you're not going to see radical changes next week.
What do you think is a reasonable amount of time?
We expect to see some positive changes by the end of this school year.
10 Norfolk schools missed accreditation.
Moving a classroom, moving a district is not like walking into a room and turning on a light switch. You've got to invest in planning up front, and you've got to put it in place, and you've got to give it some time to grow.
Spencer said Norfolk schools are in the growth phase, and even though leadership is in transition, he wants the school year to be seamless. Dr. Richard Bentley, who resigned this week, again would not comment today. Do you feel you were forced out? Spencer said Norfolk taxpayers should feel confident sending their children to school.
And when you go into our classrooms across this district, there are positive relationships being developed, there are positive activities going on, there are children learning and being successful.
Coming up tonight, new at 6, the investigations into Norfolk Public Schools' 3 pepper spray incidents are now complete. I'll let you know which school security officer did not follow the rules, and I'll also let you know why she is still working with children. Melanie Woodrow, 10 on your side.
No pizza, just extra cash. That was the order from 3 men in Virginia Beach. Police say they robbed a driver around 7 o'clock last night, just after he delivered a pizza on Sierra Arch. Investigators say 3 suspects with guns robbed the Domino's driver as he went back to his car.
A Portsmouth woman admitted she cut the head off a pig and stabbed another. 21-year-old Ashley Fowler pleaded guilty today to livestock maiming, breaking and entering, and drug charges. She'll be sentenced in March. Police say Fowler decapitated a pig at a home on Ballahack Road in February, then put the animal's head on the owner's front porch. Officers found another stabbed pig in a pen with 10 other pigs.
The USS Norfolk has a new commanding officer. The Norfolk is a fast attack submarine. It plays a major role in America's nuclear deterrence strategy. Now, in the wake of sweeping defense cuts, 10 on your side's Art Kahn says the submarine's role could be even more critical.
Although it is a time-honored tradition in the Navy, a change of command is more than just a ceremony.
It is truly a most significant event. It is significant for this ship, the crew, and these 2 superb officers.
Officer Deck, haul down the commissioning pennant.
And there is added significance not only in this change of command for the USS Norfolk, but for the nation as a whole. Secretary of Defense Leon Panetta said proposed cuts for defense spending could force the nation to abandon its ground-based ballistic missile system. That would leave only 2 elements remaining in the nuclear triad that comprises the country's nuclear deterrence weapons system. The remaining delivery systems being by air or sea.
The submarine force, the ships that do that mission, will be ever more important in the physically constrained environment.
Just that ability of the submarine to be the hidden deterrent and that constantly be on the move, do you think that helps us offset what we may lose if in fact they do abandon the land base?
Oh, I believe so. I think the fact that we can remain on scene and unseen is one of the strengths of our force. so nobody knows where we are or where we could be.
Providing nuclear deterrence is a huge responsibility for the young crews that man the nation's submarines, as is the task facing Congress now, looking to trim defense spending in order to reduce the national debt.
And ensuring that as we build the military for the future, we are able to defend this country for the next decade.
At Naval Station Norfolk, Art Kahn, 10 on your side.
And by the way, the USS Norfolk was commissioned back in 1983, one of 43 Los Angeles-class subs still on active duty.
Happy birthday to the USS Enterprise. The world's first nuclear-powered aircraft carrier is turning 50 years old. The commanding officer invited all former crew members back to the ship to celebrate. USS Enterprise and crew will embark on their final deployment in the spring. The Navy's offering tours of the Enterprise on November 28th to commemorate the birthday. They cost $10 for adults, $5 for children 5 to 11 years old, and adults over 60.
Joe Paterno, recently fired as head football coach at Penn State, has a treatable form of lung cancer. Paterno's son Scott released a statement today that says, quote, "Last weekend, my father was diagnosed with a treatable form of lung cancer during a follow-up visit for a bronchial illness. He is currently undergoing treatment, and his doctors are optimistic that he will make a full recovery," end quote. Meanwhile, the NCAA is launching its own investigation into allegations of child sexual abuse at Penn State. The acting athletic director said today there will be changes. This is similar allegations emerge involving a coach at Syracuse University. Then on your side's Jay Gray now with more on today's developments from Penn State.
Late today, the NCAA announced it's opened up a formal investigation into Penn State's athletic programs in the wake of the scandal. And NBC News has learned federal agents and prosecutors are now looking into allegations Jerry Sandusky abused young boys while traveling across state lines to Nittany Lion Bowl games, and that he may have used the internet to communicate with or even recruit potential victims. A list of victims that several lawyers tell NBC News is growing.
There's comfort in numbers, and I think that they now understand that we're not alone.
Ben Andriozzi represents at least 2 alleged victims, including one not among the 8 listed on the original grand jury report.
My client was sexually assaulted by Mr. Sandusky in the early 90s, and he was sexually assaulted on the grounds of Penn State University.
Penn State's acting athletic director spoke publicly today for the first time since replacing former AD Tim Curley, who faces charges he lied to a grand jury and tried to cover up the allegations of abuse.
I think that remains to be seen as we get in the investigations that are, ongoing happen. And no matter what they say about me being an insider, as you watch what I do and watch how this university behaves, you will know and appreciate that I'm about doing the right thing.
As the events in State College continue to unfold, there are new allegations of abuse, this time at Syracuse University. Assistant basketball coach Bernie Fine has been placed on administrative leave as the university and local police investigate allegations he sexually assaulted 2 team ball boys, stepbrothers, for more than a decade. Head coach Jim Boeheim has called the allegations, quote, lies, and has said his assistant has his, quote, full support. Support is something many are looking for right now in 2 major college athletic programs on 2 campuses and in 2 struggling communities. This Saturday, the Penn State football team will take on rival Ohio State, while the Syracuse basketball team will be playing Colgate. Of course, a lot of the focus at both schools will remain off the court and off the field this weekend. At Penn State, Jay Gray, 10 on your side.
Light Rail has given 10 on your side the operating cost for Light Rail the first 2 months. Are you pleased with the numbers, Robert Dean?
Well, I don't believe the numbers.
This is Robert Dean. He is in Virginia Beach, and even with the good numbers Light Rail says it has, he says don't bring it to Virginia Beach. I'll have that story coming up.
A big celebration tomorrow in downtown Norfolk, the Grand Illumination, and it's the first big event for Light Rail. 10 on your side wanted to know how the tide will roll with all those people. We'll tell you what we found out.
And a college community is in mourning after 2 coaches are killed during a recruiting trip. You're going to hear what happened.
A rare tornado caught on tape as it ripped apart homes and buildings. We'll show you the damage.
And a look at our clear skies. You can just tell it's cold now. It's going to be even colder overnight. In fact, the first freeze warnings all the way to the coastline, right about through here. Other areas have already had a freeze. We'll tell you about our cold night and a better weekend in just a couple of minutes.
You're watching WAVY News 10 at 5. with Tom Shad, Nicole Ribas, and Super Doppler 10 Chief Meteorologist Don Slater.
They are grieving at Oklahoma State tonight. Women's basketball coach Kurt Budke and assistant women's coach Miranda Cerna died when their small plane went down in central Arkansas during a recruiting trip. Now, there's little information about the circumstances around the crash. OSU canceled its 2 upcoming women's basketball games.
Well, this is obviously an incredibly devastating event. It's our worst nightmare.
The pilot was a former Oklahoma State Senator, 82-year-old Olin Barnstetter. He and his wife Paula also died. It's the second major sports tragedy at Oklahoma State in the last decade. Back in 2001, 10 people with the men's basketball team died in a Colorado plane crash.
A massive wildfire lit up the early morning sky in Reno, Nevada. The fire chief says it's not going to be out anytime soon. High winds are expected until about midnight, and there's no chance for rain or snow on the forecast. The flames have destroyed or damaged at least 20 homes. It's burning across 400 acres. Hundreds of families are staying in shelters now. Several people suffered smoke inhalation. No word yet on what sparked that fire. Take a look at this tornado caught on tape in Bolivia. The twister lasted for about 5 minutes and ripped off roofs, demolished buildings, and uprooted trees. Dozens of homes and businesses were damaged. Meteorologists say a tornado is extremely unusual in the mountainous area.
The FDA revokes its approval of a cancer drug.
It's heartbreaking. I cried. It's just a death sentence.
You're going to hear why and what it means for the people taking it.
It's a big sign of the holiday season in Hampton Roads, the grand illumination. See how the city of Norfolk is preparing for all the people on the streets and riding the tide.
It's always a spectacle. Tomorrow night, the skies over downtown Norfolk and Portsmouth will get a lot brighter.
The annual Grand Illumination and Parade in downtown Norfolk kicks off the 6-week Holidays in the City celebration. 10 on your side's Ava Hurdle found out how the city is preparing for the big event. Ava, a new attraction already sold out.
That's right, Nicole. That's the street seats along Waterside Drive. Now, more than 1,000 spectators paid $10 apiece to see the parade up close.
These pictures are from last year's Grand Illumination. It ushers in the holiday season along with a spectacular parade. The event draws tens of thousands of people to downtown Norfolk.
We have 2 slices of pepperoni.
At Mamma Mia's Pizzeria in Waterside,
We're all excited.
pie maker Gordon Farrington hopes some of those parade goers will stop in for a slice or two.
It's going to be really exciting because we have a lot of business, a lot of traffic, so we'll be making a lot of pizzas. So a lot of people.
For the first time, people attending the parade can get there and back on the time.
We will run on 15-minute frequencies until about 4 p.m. when additional trains will be added to accommodate large crowds. We will have staff assistants available to help keep passengers safe.
HRT advises passengers who'll generally walk a few blocks from the train to the parade route to pay close attention to traffic signals, plan ahead, and buy tickets early online or at kiosks. Express bus service is also available, as well as the passenger ferry between downtown Norfolk and Portsmouth. Plus, there's parking, too.
The City of Norfolk is providing early bird parking from 3 to 5 in all the city facilities, and that's for $1. They can park at MacArthur Center garages, both the north and south deck, for $2 all day. At 5 o'clock, it will become $5 collect on entry at the city parking facilities.
Now the Grand Illumination kicks off at 7, followed by the parade. For more detailed information about the route, including where to park, go to our website, WAVY.com. I'm Ava Hurdle, 10 on your side.
And Saturday kicks off another holiday tradition in Hampton Roads. WAVY TV 10 and Fox 43 are proud sponsors of the 7th season of MacArthur on Ice. This is at the outdoor skating rink at the corner of Monticello and Freemason downtown. There's plenty of fun for the whole family, from special figure skating demonstrations to mini rink for toddlers. I'll be there along with Tom, David Culver, Stephanie Harris, Alvita Yule, Ariana Aramburo, and Face of Fox 43 Tracy Page. So join us to kick off the season Saturday from 1 to 3. We hope to see you there tomorrow.
They showed 1/2 second of me skating there in the very beginning. So
all right, they
there you
didn't show
go.
me skating,
I'm looking forward to it. You do okay.
Yes, I hold on to the side and I creep along. I do just fine.
They won't have hockey pucks out there.
No,
Shooting hockey
it's
pucks.
a shame.
No, well, no, that wouldn't be too great with a bunch of kids there.
How's the weather going to be for that? Because last year I remember I had a little light sweater on and it was hot.
It's going to be frozen tonight. As a matter of fact, it'll likely drop to freezing all the way to the coastline. But for the weather coming up over the weekend, we've got the grand illumination coming up and things going on really throughout the area. Thin veil of cloud cover moving in tomorrow evening. Now that's tomorrow evening. Tonight it looks cold, but tomorrow night not bad. It'll be around 54 degrees at about 7 o'clock in the evening, dropping to about 51 degrees later, and a very light breeze from the south at 5 to 10. Now that's what's going on. As long as we're talking about grand illumination, here's what's going on for us right now. We've got freeze warnings in effect. Now other areas you've already seen a hard freeze. But those of you who have plants outside, whatever, it's going to be a frozen night tonight in Portsmouth. Parts of Portsmouth likely have seen a solid freeze. Parts of Norfolk have seen a solid freeze, but it's likely to freeze pretty much all the way to the coastline overnight. Currituck County, mainland as well, got a freeze warning for tonight. Skies are clear as a bell. There's nothing going on in terms of any precipitation. But after a cold night, we're going to have a much, much better weekend. You can see some clouds building up to the west. We'll start to see things develop there by about Monday. And really, for tomorrow, we'll start to also see a little bit of thin cloudiness work its way into the area late in the day tomorrow and into tomorrow evening. But here's what's going on. Winds, zero. Hardly any wind overnight at all. High pressure right on in over the top of our area. We'll start to see a few thin clouds move in during the day for tomorrow. Calm. It's just be calmed overnight. And again, that will allow the temperature to really drop on down. But we're going to see lighter winds for tomorrow out of the west and then finally out of the east, and very light and variable winds. It'll start to warm up during the day for tomorrow, even with the cloud cover. 7 o'clock in the evening, thin veil of cloud cover throughout the area. That's at the start of the grand illumination, for example, in Norfolk. By Sunday, we're going to see sunshine and cloud cover, more of a southwesterly breeze, and it's going to warm things up significantly for the day coming up on Sunday. It'll likely warm back on up into the upper 60s. Here's what we are for tomorrow, 56, 52, 61. We'll average things out around 57, 58, really, for most of us during the day for tomorrow. And then we move on into Sunday. And look at this, 68, 69, 70 degrees. So unusually warm coming up during the day on Sunday. And we got a beautiful, beautiful sunset out there. And with the dry air, we're seeing that sunset all the way to the horizon and right now through the area. Again, totally clear skies, clear as a bell throughout the area right now. We've got temperatures into the low 40s, upper 30s, and low 40s into the area. And again, it's really going to drop on down overnight. Our current temperature readings 39, 44, 45, 42, 43. Our low temperatures last night were very cold, but stayed up a bit at the coastline. Overnight, here's what we've got: 28, 30, 42 degrees. Clear and cold for the south side, 27 to around 31, 33. For the peninsula, 28 to 30, and upper 20s for the middle peninsula, northern neck, eastern shore. Cold overnight, but recovering for the weekend. 57 and 68. Temperatures very pleasant through Wednesday.
It's a bit of genius, and you can see it, where you'll find pieces of a beautiful mind.
One of Hollywood's mysteries is getting another look tonight. Why investigators are reopening their investigation into the death of movie star Natalie Wood. That's tonight at 5:30. One of the brightest brains in history is on display. We mean that literally, because you can see 46 slides of Albert Einstein's brain at the Mutter Museum of the College of Physicians in Philadelphia. Doctors say the samples show Einstein's brain does not show any changes normally associated with age. Fascinating. Einstein, in 1955, he died at the age of 76. The majority of his brain is at the University Medical Center in Princeton, where the autopsy was performed.
The Food and Drug Administration says Avastin should no longer be used to treat breast cancer. The FDA says there's no proof the blockbuster drug delays tumor growth or extends patients' lives. It's also causing dangerous side effects, including high blood pressure and heart failure. Doctors can still prescribe it to treat breast cancer, but insurance companies may not pay for it. 1 year's treatment can cost $100,000. Today's ruling was expected, but disappointing to women who say they've run out of other options.
It was heartbreaking. I cried. It's just a death sentence.
We don't have $90,000 a year for this, and that's what it would cost. So I guess right now we have to sit here and hope that the insurance companies are not as criminal as the FDA.
This was a very thoughtful process. There was a lot of dialogue from experts, from the company, from FDA, and I think that they can take some comfort in thinking that there's a very serious review process.
Avastin will still be on the market. It's used to treat colon, lung, kidney, and brain cancers.
Well, it's a week from today, but people are already lining up for Black Friday bargains. Already. We're going to tell you where, plus we're on your side with ways to find shopping bargains in the palm of your hand.
And college students are on alert after several reports of break-ins on one campus, but police say the suspect isn't out to steal anything. What's happening instead? Tonight on WAVY News 10 at 5:30.
Thursday, are we going to do the sautés together?
It's a week away, but some shoppers, only in America, folks, already lining up for Black Friday. This family's been lined up since Tuesday outside Best Buy in Denton, Texas. Hope they're comfortable to make sure they are first in line for those good deals. And 3 families set up camp outside a Best Buy store in St. Petersburg, Florida. No, it's not the Occupy movement. They plan to pass the time until the big day by playing games or studying. And by the way, your smartphone can help you navigate your Black Friday shopping trip. The Black Friday app will not only help you prepare for the next week, but keep you up to date for those year-round deals. Then Google Shoppers app offers one-stop shop for everything available online. You can check offers that nearby businesses and restaurants have submitted through Google Places and find the best prices online. You can also share with your friends on social media. The TGIF Black Friday app helps you, wow, this is hard to read this. Black Friday app helps you plan your holiday shopping before Black Friday ads are available in the newspaper. It is frequently updated with bargains from most of the big box stores. Whew. Stay with us. WAVY News 10 at 5:30 starts right now.